So let me ask you about the cartels. They made a clear warning to you and to the United States that we're going to escalate our violence. So now we're seeing not only Mexican troops after this deal that Trump made with Mexico's president, and also U.S. troops headed to the border. How are you going to utilize the military? We know what the military can and can't do domestically, but in a scenario like this, how do you plan on using the military? Could they get involved in the violence if the cartels strike?
Yes, and we expect them to. But the Mexican military, President Trump's able to get Mexico, put military on their northern border. That will certainly help. I think the cartels would be foolish to take on the military, but we know they've taken on the Mexican military before. But now we have the United States military on the border. We got the men and women of the Border Patrol. Do I expect violence to escalate? Absolutely, because the cartels are making record amounts of money. They're making record amounts of money in alien smuggling and trafficking of women and children and drugs. However, as we secure the border, we've run long ways to securing the border. Crossings are down like 76%. We're taking money out of their pocket. They're not going to wait quietly, and that's why President Trump designated them terrorist organizations. I would send a warning to them. You heard a Border Patrol agent, you heard a soldier. The wrath of President Trump's going to come down.
Does that mean the military, our troops, U.S. military at the border with weapons, using weapons if need be?
They need to protect themselves. But the cartels, again, let me give the cartels a warning. If you harm a Border Patrol agent or a soldier, the whole world's going to come down to you. President Trump is a strong president. He is strong enough, and he has the ability to wipe them off the face of the earth. Now, that's the reason they were called terrorist organizations, designated terrorist organizations, because they've killed more Americans with their fentanyl and their drugs than any terrorist organization in the world. They are now designated terrorists. Do not harm our troops, or President Trump will bring hell rain down, and he has the ability to wipe them off the face of the earth. They can claim they're a pretty tough organization, the cartels, and they are, but they're not stronger than the power of President Trump.
Tom, let me ask you, you've been doing this since 1984 in law enforcement on the border. Over that period of time, we've seen this dramatic shift in the attitude of Americans about immigration. Polls show, when President Reagan was president, we had a very welcoming attitude about immigrants. Polls showed most Americans wanted more immigrants. Now, we've seen this very dramatic shift. What do you think of that, and what do you think caused it?
I think the American people have been educated, especially the last 4 years, when they saw images of 11,000 people enter this country and get released. I mean, the federal law is clear. If you come to our borders without proper documentation, entry documents, the law says you shall be detained. Shall. Not maybe, not think about it. But what American people have seen in the last 4 years, you cross the country illegally, you get released within 24 hours. You get a free plane ticket to the city of your choice. You get put in a free hotel room. You get 3 square meals a day. You get free medical attention. And in about 90, 120 days, we're going to give you work authorization, which is the real reason they came here. They're not coming here escaping fear and persecution. When you send that message to the whole world, they're going to come to the greatest nation on earth. I think people are realizing, so when you overwhelm the Border Patrol, and that's the message I keep pushing, it's not just innocent illegal immigration. When you overwhelm the Border Patrol and take them out of their national security job because you're making sandwiches, changing diapers, making airport runs, doing all this humanitarian stuff which they need to do, that's when the fentanyl came across, killed 250,000 Americans. That's when sex trafficking happens. When they create the gaps in the cartels knows this. So the cartel knows, okay, the Border Patrol is overwhelmed. Now let's send a group of 100 family units to this area so with the 30% left on the border, we'll seize that opportunity. Now we create gaps. Now we can run the gang members and those carrying fentanyl and those sex and trafficking women. They got a wide open area now. This is the unsecure overwhelming of the border has created all these other bad things to happen. And I think Americans are being educated at that. They understand it isn't just illegal immigration anymore.